Hi, I'm Yasmeen Owusu, and this is my producer, Charlie Kesenek.
But I'm your husband. You're using all my stuff right now. What are you talking about?
So anyway, I've been looking for a one-stop shop podcast for wellness, amateur sociology, psychology, pop culture, and whatever else sparks my interest. So I created one. We are limited to no lanes. We hit the gas and get into it. This is Piqued. Press play. Hi, Charlie.
Hello.
You're back.
I'm back.
Yeah, I did two solo. Oh.
Yes.
Ooh, you had a whole thing going.
Oh, I'm going to do that character
Okay.
for the whole thing. Yeah.
It's like some kind of wrestling character of
I'm
yours.
back.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Are you the Miz?
I don't know what the Miz is.
It is the wrestling character.
Moving along.
Also, something to do with real world. Anyway,
Okay.
welcome
Pass me
back.
time.
And
Hello.
it is the eve of my birthday.
Most importantly,
We're
let's start there.
recording this on Thursday, and
Yes,
my
we
birthday
are.
is Friday, May 1st.
Happy
For all
birthday,
of
Boo.
you who are dying to send me a gift, thank you
Mm.
so much.
In
I'm going to be
advance.
44.
Put my Venmo QR code on here.
Can you imagine? Yeah, 44.
I
Here we
mean,
are. This is it.
You don't look a day over 24.
I don't think that's accurate.
What's the thing that I should say? 28.
Hmm.
32. You're
I'm
perfect.
feeling like 37. I think 37 to 44.
Well, you look great. That's
Yeah,
the most
thank you.
important
I
part.
feel good. I feel like I look good.
Yeah, I feel good. We're feeling good at our long age.
Yes. There's a lot of this back and forth of like, are millennials looking young for their age? Are they not? Whatever. I don't think that I care about whether or not I look young for my age. I think that I look a lot like my contemporaries. So let's say this is what people around my age look like these days.
Yeah.
Because most of my friends look around my age,
True.
who are my age.
Yeah.
I have friends of all different age groups. Most of my friends who are in that sort of 37 to like 45 range, we all kind of, we look like this. So whatever this is what it looks like now. So if it looked older in the 50s, okay, great. But this is what it is now. So I think I look 44 by today's standards.
Back when people were just eating lead paint chips.
Yeah.
for
Also
breakfast
the
every day.
styling, I think. Was
That
a
is
little,
true.
Yeah, there's some hairdos that I think.
Everyone was having children younger. Yeah.
Like there were golden girls that I think were close in age to me.
Yeah.
Like Blanche or something like that was like, I don't know, whatever. The actress was like 46 or something crazy. So
That's
she was like
fucked up.
2 years older than me. Anyway, Charlie, what's been on your mind
Oof.
or on your nerves? I mean, dealer's choice.
I'm gonna go nerves here, of course. I mean, let's make it interesting. I'm a bit addicted to Facebook Marketplace. It's
You?
great.
He also said a bit.
I'm a bit addicted to
Sorry,
Facebook
this is your
Marketplace.
time.
Yeah, excuse me. And it's a great place to get music gear at a discounted rate. Sometimes you can even trade some of your stuff for someone else's stuff.
Okay, this is not an ad. Move on.
Point is, some people are a little unhinged on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know if you've ever noticed this. I mean, I don't know if some of you might remember Craigslist too. That was even crazier. But
There's some wild shit going on Craigslist. I think there were like murders.
But like honestly, Facebook Marketplace, I'm on it more than Instagram or anything because not just for the deals, and there are deals.
Charlie, we're not sponsored by Marketplace. Move on.
But in the midst of all these amazing deals, in the midst of all these liquidations of
Stop.
You'll find some item descriptions that are absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Like the best one ever, I think, that I ever read was someone who's like, it was like, listen, take it or leave it. It's $50. That's a good price. If you don't want to buy it for $50, then I'll take this down in a week and I'm not going to sell it. I'll just use it. It's like,
like coming in so hot. I actually feel like it is strangely a little bit, I don't know about all of Texas, but I'm going to say Austin specific. Like
That may
people
be
are
true.
like on their last nerve here. Like, I mean, I knew that people didn't love the like, is it available messages in New York, but I don't remember it being quite such a thing. Like here, they're like, if you send me, is it available? I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm going to block you. Like I'm going to find your family and hunt you down. Like people are crazy with it. Like,
why are you so mad to see? It's like, I get it. It is the stock response. So first of all, you have to understand that it is the stock response. So like, some people are just going to hit that and you're going to get those messages. It's
We just want to know if it's available.
like you are electing to do this. This is not mandatory. You're not being held at gunpoint to sell a fucking tea kettle. Like you have to decide whether it's worth it to you to do the admin of answering the fucking responses.
Which is admittedly annoying.
It can be annoying.
People are flaky. Yes, people have a passing interest in a lot of things. The interesting thing is, and me and Charlie have maybe found this a lot overall in Austin, is people are not good at putting themselves on the other end of something. Like, you know that you are all flaky nightmares when you're buying something. Of course. Right?
They're probably the worst ones, too. The people who write that are, I guarantee they're terrorists.
I'm sure that you're spreading your, your net really wide the way that I do sometimes too, where I'm like sending multiple people messages that available. I know that you're all doing this, but when it happens to you, you just can't freaking handle it. Right. Seriously. And it's like, I feel like I find everyone complains about the same things they do here really, really frequently. Like everyone's like, nobody's ever serious. And you're not serious, dude. Like, I think everyone is pervasively too chill.
Yeah.
And then they get like intense and pissed off at it, like periodically.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, there are some unhinged ones that we've seen.
Absolutely unhinged.
Or just screaming at you.
Or it's like, okay, all right, I've got, it's like I've got this beautiful rug and it comes with a coffee table and also a couch and also my Porsche 911 Carrera and also a butter knife from 1962. And if you don't take it all, then forget it. Deal's off. It's like, what
all or nothing.
What are the chances you're going to find someone who wants all those things?
A bicycle, a riding mower, a coffee table, a lamp, and like they want you to take the whole thing or nothing, and don't message me unless you're serious about this.
My God.
Don't ask me any more questions. The whole thing of like, if the ad is up, it's still available. I will block you. It's like, all right, dude.
Oh, yeah, don't ask. You better not.
And like,
no
half the time I'll see that if the ad is up, is it still available 7 months later when you've definitely sold the item. So like, it's just people don't want to deal with anything.
Right.
I think it's a very, like, I love living here. So let me preface it with that. It's a very easy, nice quality of life.
Yeah.
And so people have no wherewithal or tolerance for literally anything.
To deal with anything.
Like any minor inconvenience, it crashes people out. And I don't think they realize it's because they just live this like enchanted life here in Austin.
Yeah,
like go to New York for a second and see how inconvenient things get real quick. And talk to people like this online. They'll show up and kill you.
Yeah, they will. They will.
They'll show up with a freaking gun. They'll be like, what was all that about? I'll block you.
You were talking, my mans. What's up? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway.
How about you? You got nerves or minds?
Yeah. I don't like this weather.
This weather sucks.
So again, I'm like, everyone here has no wherewithal. I get like sunny weather most of the time here in Austin, but like I'm realizing more and more, how the hell did I survive in any other climate? It is sunny. I'm going to say like 96% of the time in Austin. I mean, seriously. Even if it has raininess during the day or whatever, like for the most part, you will see the sun peek out. Even in winter, you'll have some part of the day where it's like sunny. And even in winter, when it's like, I don't know, whatever, 50 degrees, 40 degrees, I can go outside in a coat, a jacket, and just like get that sun hit. When I don't, I actually don't know how to function as a human. And I'm like, maybe that's why I wasn't functioning as a human when I was living in New York. Maybe that's why I would say I don't have a propensity for depression, but I definitely found my anxiety was like spiking a lot. And like, I just can't sit still. Like my thing with like bad, poor mental health is like an inability to just like sit in my skin, in my space. It's not really like a sort of heavy depressive thing. It's more just like I get real squirrely and I like have no ability to just like be calm. And that's where I'm at a lot of the time when it's like this. I don't know what to do with myself. Like I don't know how to just be like a normal, calm, relaxed person in the moment and be present when it's like bad weather. For when I say prolongedly, it's been like there was sun yesterday.
No, but it's been almost entirely cloudy. And there's basically like once a year in Austin, if that, you'll get a stretch of like a week.
This is long for Austin. Yeah. And I do want to admit, though, even within the stretch, there have been breaks of sun. I have gone out in the yard with Sly.
But you're right. A lot of the time we'll wake up and we'll be like, oh, God, it's cloudy today. And then like by the time we're out the door,
Mm-hmm.
the sun's out. So
Yeah.
it pretty much always, it's tough to go 24 hours without seeing the sun here. It doesn't happen much, or not tough, but I'm saying it's rare.
It's more gloom than we've become used to.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing, and it's not just, I do always want to like sit in the sun and go in the yard and like get that hit. But I also just activity wise, I'm very much, I want to go outside and walk. I want to play tennis. You know, that's kind of, those are the things I want to do on my day off. Go sit on a picnic bench in a backyard of a restaurant or whatever. Like, I don't really know what to do. And it's like, I don't know. I guess you can go to the movies. Like, that's like all I can think of. But also that always feels like such a time suck on your day off.
Yeah.
You know, because like you get there and then you watch a movie, it's 2 hours, and then next thing you know, it's like 4 p.m. and you're like, where the fuck did my day off go?
Why is an hour and a half movie always a 4-hour commitment?
4 to 5 hours is how long it actually takes.
What is that? What time warp are they putting us in?
I don't know.
Even allow an extra half hour for previews. That's 2 hours. Where are the other 2 hours?
I don't know. And like
Doesn't make
whatever
any
people
sense.
try to say here, it's not the freaking traffic.
That's
like
for sure.
the ride takes like, I don't know, 20 minutes max or something like that. Anyway, that's what's on my mind. I'm like, geez, I'm going to have to learn how to exist when it's a little gloomy. Like, and it rarely is. So like, stop asking a lot of.
You're used to.
Yeah.
We definitely did in New York. And in New York, it's like all winter. It's like you get like 2.5 hours of sun. And then like, and during that, the sun is low. And so it's behind buildings like most of that too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's brutal.
Oh my God.
The winter in New York was brutal.
Yeah. Unless that's, your thing, if you prefer cooler weather, which a lot of people who leave Austin, I mean, that's not us, but a lot of people who like leave Austin, they go to Portland, they go to Seattle because they like, I don't know, they want the blue time 24/7. Not me. I'm a sun child.
What's your thing?
Yeah. Well, this beautiful weather has given us time to watch yet another cult documentary. We're enthusiasts of cult documentaries. It's just always fascinating to us and to many. I think that's why they exist.
Every time you see that like new on Netflix, new on Hulu, and it's like cult, we're like
I'm in, say less.
If I could program my remote to automatically click everything that says cult, I would do it.
I'd be locked in.
I'd be locked.
But so this one, I mean, we're going to talk about a bunch, but the latest is NatureBoy, and no, it's not Ric Flair. Although he could start a cult, I'd join. Woo! Anyway, it's a guy named Eligio from Harlem. And it's this dude who I guess was fatigued of being a black man living in the United States, police brutality and, prejudice and whatever. And also just like maybe the unnatural ways that we live and the foods we eat or whatever, and decided to move to Costa Rica and live more naturally off the earth and, I don't know, improve his melanin production, I guess. And so he went out there and created Melanation. You like that name? Like very Melanin
clever.
Nation.
It's very clever.
So he essentially moved out to Costa Rica and started encouraging other people to do so as well. And in my view, with some extremely manic, concerning looking videos where he's just like ranting and raving. And I guess the content of what he's saying maybe could be attractive. It's like, you need to go where like, you can grow your own food and like, heal your body and heal your psyche. But like the way he's saying is he's like yelling at us. And like, I guess why I wanted to talk about not just this cult, but cults in general is like, I do feel like there's such a disconnect between what everyone who's saying, who has joined a cult is saying and my mentality. And like, I know everyone thinks they couldn't end up joining a cult, blah, blah, blah. But like,
you really couldn't.
There was something specifically about this guy where I was like, ooh, I should talk about that. And I could associate with other cult leaders that I've seen just like in these documentaries or whatever. But with this guy specifically, it was just so crystal clear to me that he's unhinged.
Seriously.
He's manic. Yeah. And the fact that these really young people, and a lot of them women, and a lot of them these like small women and young, like super young, would go to a foreign country and a developing one at that to meet this energy at the end of their journey. Like, I know that doesn't exist anywhere in my fucking being to do that. I would be terrified to meet him. I would be terrified to meet him in a crowded mall.
Right.
Like, I would just his energy and the way he comes across, I'd be like, ooh,
walk to the other side of the store. Yeah.
Right. Just based on his face. If I turned the sound off and I looked at this guy, terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter to me what he's saying.
It's
you
like,
know?
like a guy approaches you at the bodega and he's like, yo. And you're like, ah. And he's like, your shoe's untied. And you're like, okay. And then you walk away. And it's
I don't like the messenger.
as fast
yeah.
as that's like kind of the vibe he's coming at.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you're like,
It's
oh no,
too
why is this guy talking?
intense
It's
and
way too intense.
somehow he always feels argumentative. Like,
100%.
why is he mad about wanting to eat like
The
fresh
tone is
berries?
mad 100%
Yeah.
of the time. Yeah.
If you feel berated.
Yeah. And it
It's a
turns out,
berating
and it
tone.
turned out, like, according to everyone who went there, that's exactly what happened when they got there, except now it was just like in the flesh. And instead of like you could scroll past it when you were done, he just like berated you 24/7.
Right.
Like, where did he find the energy style? Like,
Yeah,
crazy.
It was as advertised, basically. Like,
Right.
he just like ranted and
then
raved, and
some.
then they met him and he ranted and raved the whole
Yeah.
time, but now he had access to them.
Yep.
And it was insane to me to hear that all of these people, these different young people, would watch one of his videos and be like, I was just watching his videos constantly. I would rather die. I didn't even want to get through the little excerpts of his
no.
videos that they showed in the documentary because they stress me out so much. Just the way that he talks, it's like so relentless and vitriolic and aggressive. Like
100%.
It just I'm not even just saying like what he's talking about is not aggressive, right? Like the content,
Right.
but his delivery, it feels like a constant rebuke. Like,
Well, that's what I was going to say is like, it feels like the people who watch it and respond to it are only responding to the actual content and the words that he's saying and not in any way to his body language or his tone of voice, you know?
that really hits on something for me. And I think for you too, because we do go on intuition so much with meeting people and reading them.
But I think intuition is even like it's like, I mean, I think it's definitely there and it's real, but I think it's like, it just tone of voice and
It's
body
more
language
information. You're absolutely right.
are very
Yeah.
concrete information
It's
that
not
like
nebulous
so many
information.
people disregard and or credit to intuition. It's like,
Yes.
that's not even where intuition
Your
necessarily
tone of voice, your
enters
facial
into it.
expressions. Yeah.
That's information. That's like really important information. I
Mm-hmm.
think you learn more about people. I mean, maybe that's just my kind of. No, but I think you learn more about people than that because you can say anything with language. You know, you can say any
Yeah.
words you want. But when people will tell you about themselves with their tone of voice and their body language. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, you can fake the funk with verbally, right? But it's
Absolutely.
really hard to fake your body language and your eyes. I think it's really hard to do that successfully.
Well,
So I
I
think,
yeah.
you're ignoring a lot of very concrete information that just comes from how someone comports themselves.
Right.
And people, I mean, we all understand people purposely misrepresent themselves all the time.
We
People
know this.
purposely tell lies and deceive people all the time. So it really struck me as like baffling.
Well, I think I'm trying to flip the script. I'm like, if like when I watch that guy talk, I don't even hear the words he's saying.
They're not important.
It's not important. All I can do is see this crazy intense body language, these crazy eyes, and this crazy rebuking tone of voice, like you said. So are there just types of people that when they hear the words that they want to hear, they are blinded to the body language and deaf to the tonality?
Maybe it's some
you know
kind
what I
of
mean?
confirmation bias.
Yeah,
It's like what
that's
they
what I'm
want to be
thinking.
hearing. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard that with people in relationships where they're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, he was love bombing, he was doing this. Like, and then, you see the person that's doing that. Like, if you watch Vanderpump Rules, whatever, and you see a Jax Taylor and people are like, he's so good at saying everything a girl wants to hear. I'm like, while looking like actual Nosferatu or like Beelzebub,
With
like
eyes popping out of
demonic
his head.
with his eyebrows up to here with
Oh
like
my
a coke
God.
vein hanging out. So like, what does it matter what this guy is saying? And I know that I like tend to like not fully into like an insane amount of hypervigilance, but I have some there, right? So I know that like maybe I'm like more concerned with ensuring people are safe and reliable
Right.
early on than some people are.
Yeah.
And so that makes you really examine them and their body language and their demeanor and like how they seem, right? But I think in general, like it seems too low of a priority. Like, I think the reason that we glom on to people's body language so quickly is if that body language is alarming, it should be the first thing you notice over the content of what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, if you're just like a regular person like you and me, it's not like I'm staring, waiting for you to sweat. I'm not like an insane person. I'm not like, trying to be a human like lie detector or anything. But it's like his demeanor, Eligio's demeanor, Nature Boy's demeanor is so alarming that if it's the first thing you notice. It's almost like if someone has a bleeding head wound and they're basically telling you about yoga. Why the fuck would you listen to what they're saying about yoga? You'd be like, you got a bleeding head wound.
It's pretty much how we perceive it. Yeah. Like little crimson red flag. It's like,
that's how it comes through my filters.
Yeah,
like, this is the first thing you need to deal with.
But yoga is great.
This guy sounds unhinged. Which I can hear from you.
Eating fruit in Costa Rica.
Because you're not going, yoga is great. I like yoga and it's making me feel a lot better. Come to Costa Rica. Like what the hell? I'm not going to Costa Rica. Every single time that these kids who are in this documentary, and a lot of them were really young, so I'm calling them kids, but they're actually adults. But every time they're like, and when you're there, then you listen to what he says. I keep being like, who is we? Like,
seriously.
This is you. This is a For You page. I would never, ever go to a foreign country with the advertisement for why to be there being this man. This man seems like one of the more unhinged people I've ever seen on my screen.
I'm like, that guy's in Costa Rica? Like, maybe I'll go to Puerto Rico then.
You know what would surprise me? If he didn't lose his mind and start trying to molest every woman in his group.
Yeah, exactly.
That would
have surprised me
if it didn't end that way. If
he
they
had to
went
change
there
your
and he
heart.
was like, "Oh, here are some fresh bananas," and he was chill, I'd be like, "Whoa."
I'm like, oh, okay.
Anyway.
I guess he's really working on himself. That's not the way it goes down.
It worked.
Yeah, amazing.
Moving out of the U.S. worked, but
Not the way it
that's
goes down.
definitely not the only cult that we have been interested in. We definitely watched a Mother God documentary about Amy Carlson and.
Wait, hold on. I feel like I want to talk about Keith Raniere,
the NXIUM.
because I feel like in a way he's like kind of the opposite of Nature Boy, because he's this like teeny white guy, like squinkly, like like he doesn't look like much, and he's got he wears glasses, and he seems like not threatening.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean?
He comes across more
visually
non-threatening.
Right.
And even in demeanor, he's softer spoken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like interesting they're kind of like two sides of the same coin. You know what I mean? It's like he has this like, oh, you can trust me kind of energy. Mm-hmm. But then I guess it's all just the advertisement that he's like. In fact, he even had a woman kind of advertising and advocating him at all times. Right. Yeah. But it's specifically that one. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, like that's kind of an interesting thing. It's like it's like two different ways of capturing people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
You can ensnare them by seeming harmless,
right,
and innocuous, or you can ensnare them,
I guess,
by ranting and raving.
Well, I guess maybe people saw Nature Boy and were like, wow, that guy's confident. You know what I mean?
Seems certain.
Yeah. I think a lot of this stuff, it's just confidence, and obviously false confidence with Nature Boy, but like,
right.
But yeah, it seems like
where Keith Raniere was misrepresenting himself was, I think he kind of started a rumor about how he was a genius. Right, which I never saw substantiated necessarily in the entire like 9-part documentary or whatever. It's just something he said that he was like, he was genius, you know. And I think, he misrepresented himself as having some extreme expertise on how humans operate. I don't really know what the qualifications for that were.
Right, but so then I guess that's the other thing. It's like, so then how? But I guess he was maybe like had more of a gift to gab, but at the same time,
I didn't feel that way though.
I agree. It's like, there's nothing really that substantial there. And then also like this guy who's a genius and is like some elevated intelligence, and then watching him like run around in his weird volleyball obsession
with his like
and,
knee braces and
oh my god.
But like everyone kept saying that he has this genius level intelligence. Everyone kept saying he's very charismatic, but I didn't know if the charisma was the friends we met along the way. I never saw him seem charismatic.
That's what I'm saying.
For a second, he seemed really awkward and really odd to talk to. He was creepy, and out of shape and schlumpy, and just like there was no point where I was like, I get it. I get how this guy lured people in. He actually seemed like a really unsavory character. He had bad hygiene. So I don't really get it. I felt really similarly with David Koresh, the Branch Davidian guy, the Waco guy, where people were like, he's charismatic. And like, I don't know, man. I think that it's just people who have something going on and they say that they do, and they're going to do it regardless of whether people come along with them on some level, right? Like, I don't know. I think it requires a lot of outsourcing of your own self-determination. I don't think it is that overpowering that people say it is.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like the biggest commonality in all the way these leaders gather their flock or whatever is just willingness amongst the flock. It's just people who are literally looking for anyone to tell them what to do.
Yes.
And then it's like a combination of like timing and like just some general alignment with the narrative that they want to hear. And that's all it takes. Very little. Like, it's
and
just
that's
like
where it starts to feel like everything can be considered a cult if you look at it through that lens. Like we had this like the Danish deception thing. I don't know how familiar you are, but some people will know. It's like this Nigerian American girl named Onyeka. She met this Danish guy who ended up being a scammer, and she kept saying, oh, he's so charming. He's so this. He's the best. And like a lot of us are like, where?
Who?
I think that you had a void and you were in a rush to fill it.
Right. Projection.
And you turned whatever square
blank
knob into the round hole that you just filled the slot with whatever was there. And I think I'm so often hearing people describe people who run cults or whatever as being charismatic or just this presence. Oh my God, it took me over. I was like, no, you wanted a presence to take you over. You wanted someone to take control of your life. You didn't feel like you had control of your life. It was a void you filled in a rush.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that I would have found that person charismatic. I saw with Osho, for example, the Rajneeshee guy, that seemed like a dude who liked fancy things, and he had a street hustle going, and he always looked like he was just short of twirling his mustache, like so suspicious. Like he seemed like a low down 2-bit con artist to me on site.
Yeah.
So when people are like, oh, and he was not verbose, like he barely made his own speeches most of the freaking time. He had Sheila doing it. Now she was charismatic.
Yeah. True.
Sheila was charismatic. Her, I maybe being able to get people to follow, I mean, you could probably see her ego 7 billion miles away, but you could see how maybe this person could get you to somewhere successful because she is so possessed of herself.
Energy,
energetic. Exactly. And she's like verbally dexterous. She can kind of get sneaky with she's very convincing. She's a very convincing person. I didn't find Osho to seem that way at all. I mean, he was pilled out half the time.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. I think there's a bit of a hole in a lot of people's arguments. And I hear it, even experts just being like, everyone could get in a cult. Everyone could get in a cult. Listen, you maybe couldn't. Audience, maybe you couldn't. I know that people are constantly trying to convince us that we're all as likely as each other to get into cults, but you've probably been in the early stages of indoctrination into something that you haven't gotten into, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job. I've been in a job, I won't name the one, but where it had a very kind of cult vibe around it. And I mean, I won't even blame that all on the boss necessarily. I mean, he had ideas of how much, he wasn't a lifelong restaurateur, right? Yeah. So he had ideas of how much or little like control of employees you were supposed to have, and they were overblown, I would say. And he was a pretty egotistical person, and someone with kind of a street mentality a little bit too, which I think it's just who he is. And I think a lot of people kind of bought into that, and because multiple reasons. They wanted to keep their job, maybe their own little issues with authority where they had some gaps in, I don't know, maybe father figures or whatever. There are people who just were susceptible to that. And in that case, I wasn't. I questioned everything that wasn't my job, wasn't in my job description. And to the point where it was very uncomfortable because I was constantly the one ringing the bells, like, and
Right.
constantly
Yeah.
the outlier, you know,
Yeah.
it's trying to get you to do things on your day off that you're not getting paid for. And I'm like, what's the pay? Are we clocking in at how much money? Right. And like, so you're that person always. And it's uncomfortable.
Can't believe he talked anyone into that shit.
Oh, it's nuts. Every single human but me was doing this one thing on a day off for absolute free. And the only reason I wasn't doing it is because I said no.
Yeah.
Right. And by the way, I did end up like getting fired from that job, but not for that.
Yeah.
Not for that. They're changing the pay structure overall for the entire company because they got merged with some other entity. And they thought that I would convince other people to not be down with that pay structure change, which on brand. But anyway, so that's the situation. And then I think there are a lot of like people who get in partnerships with significant others who like, it's that they want this control, they want this. And, you know, I think a lot of us have been like, no, that doesn't sound right to me. And as soon as it bumps up against our self-determination, we're like, no, like there are definitely things in jobs or in friendships and friend groups that I've kind of like let slide or whatever. But if it comes to a place where I'm like, this is like someone trying to control how I live my life or get me to do things that like don't make sense with our transactional agreement, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of us are out.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I think it really does require a void, and it requires a slight level of desperation.
Yeah.
Or a high level of desperation.
I guess I get that once people are indoctrinated and they're in the system of control, that it's hard to shake free. But
how did you
get? But it's wild. I get that. Yeah. And obviously, I think that is obvious. But it is really, really wild to watch these moments in every cult documentary where you find out how things are escalating. You know what I mean?
And what do they usually escalate to?
It always escalates to the guy wanting to bang every woman in the cult.
And no one else is allowed to.
And no one is allowed.
No one else is allowed
to have sex.
Why is it always about that?
Like, it's like the whole, that is the thing. That is the cult thing.
It's just a countdown to that at every time.
Always
like
a countdown to
Waco, Bikram, Buddhafield, NXIUM. I mean, this guy, NatureBoy. I mean, you name it, all of them. I mean, even Mother God, even the female cult. Like she also had her weird thing where she wanted a father God, and she's like creeping on these younger guys. Like it's always something to do with that. Like, and I know that there's a larger trying to control what everyone eats, trying to control what everyone does, trying to control everyone's money. But it seems like all of that is a mechanism to trap a bunch of women in an area without credit cards, so you can just bang all the women,
have sex with them all,
and or like maybe tell the guys they're not allowed to have
maybe
any
it's
girlfriends.
A symptom of like realizing that you have control over everyone, and they're like, oh well, I guess I can start doing that. You know, it's like the natural next thing, because
is this. You're right. There's this escalating tendency with it where it's like they're testing boundaries.
Well, I think they're
from
getting
the beginning. What can I get these people to do? What will they agree to? How much of their freedoms will they let go? Will they let go? Will they let go?
Well, I think they're getting a high on the power.
Yeah.
And so then when they have everyone doing this, then they're like, well, I already have them doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What else could I have them do? And then they're like, in order to keep the high going of like feeling so empowered and so having power over other people, they need to like push the boundaries,
up the ante.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I understand the psychology around once you have been broken down in that way, and once you've participated in things you don't align with, you've let people do things to you that are I don't want to say let people, it sounds victim blamey, but things have happened that you haven't felt like you have been able to stop, and you've let it go on or it has gone on for a really long time. I understand the psychology of just needing to justify it to yourself.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Not really understanding what you're going to do if you leave it. It's almost like when you have a really bad, terrible gushing cut, and like you're scared to even like, you know, take the knife out because you're just going to bleed out. It's almost like you just want to keep it in there.
Yeah.
So that part I understand. I think the part where you let yourself begin to get indoctrinated in that way remains a bit mysterious to me. And I think usually that's the case because I think so many of these characters, so many of these cult leaders seem so nefarious on first glance.
I agreed. Or like uninteresting and unremarkable in like the Keith Raniere sense.
Right. Just either some little creep or
some little creep.
It's
That's
just
the
a
way
lot
to
of the time
describe
they
it.
seem like some little creep. Like
Little doo-wop.
Manson seems like some little creep to me. Keith Raniere seems like some little
Absolutely.
creep. Dave Koresh, or what is the name? Koresh,
Yeah.
seems like a little creep. And then you have the kind of like
Yeah.
bigger, bolder, like the Bikram, who's like a little bit more boisterous, and then like you
Yeah.
have a nature boy, but they seem just like nefarious,
Just bad.
mean-spirited people. And I don't think it takes very long to see that if you have your eyes open.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who do allow that in like kind of grooming and indoctrination period to happen, it's because they feel so lost and there's a void, and they feel so desperate in that moment of their life that I think they're shoving down the red flags. I don't think they don't see them.
For sure. I agree.
I think they want something to be true and to be transformative so badly that they're just trying to like shove this into that space.
Yeah, I mean that's how I got into a band that was almost a cult.
Yeah. But I think also your inability to let it get to that point.
No, I know, and we can talk about that. But
Yeah.
but if I think about the genesis of it, I so badly wanted to be in a band. I so badly wanted to be in a band that had potential to be successful. I so badly wanted to be in a band that was innovate. So, well, let me address each thing. Like, wanted to be in a band. That's obvious. I wanted to be in a band that had potential to be successful. Well, this guy had a bankroll. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be in a band that was innovative. So I was in a band that was kind of shit, but didn't sound like anything I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded interesting on
Yeah.
paper. It was like, oh, it was unique.
Unique,
But
yes.
partially because it was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize that at the time. And I had, I don't know, my taste was, some of it was good, some of it was bad at the time. But I was
least
blowing
it was
through
experimental.
I was blowing through red flags about like this probably isn't going to go anywhere.
Right.
Because I wanted it so badly to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then the leader of that band, he didn't want me to play in any other bands, and he was paying me extra to not play in any other bands.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was like, okay, well, I'm making money and that gives me time to practice and learn how to write music. But like you said, when it's like eventually those interests didn't align, and there were way too many moments of where I had to push back because he was trying to control me. He was trying to have power over me. He was trying to control my every move and every motion. And he wanted every move and every motion of mine to be in his interest. You know what I mean? And so I don't fucking like that.
You
I'm
won't
not
put
down
up with
with
it
that.
ultimately. I mean, similarly, sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's okay. I mean, that was what, like, if I was like, and yeah, we would get into arguments, but it was never like, this guy wasn't like garnishing wages or anything. So it was like, and that was when it eventually did crumble, was when I was just like, I'm just going to see what happens if I stop asking this person for my money.
Mm-hmm.
And he just didn't pay me for like 2 months. And I was just like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go like grovel for my money. And like, if you don't realize that you aren't paying me, then you
I don't
obviously
think he
value
didn't
me.
realize.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Exactly.
It's like
Well,
some kind of power.
You
play
either
to,
don't
like,
realize
it. Yeah.
or you're waiting for me to come grovel for it. And I was not down with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so many people don't ever get to that, or it takes like, I don't know, the FBI intervening for them to get to that point.
It won't happen simply because their interest and their self-protection isn't aligning anymore.
Yeah,
They still
exactly.
don't defend their own interests and their self-protection. And I would say similarly to you, in that case, this is like your ability to be in a band. It's how you pay your rent. It's where you live. There are like some real stakes in maintaining it. But still, when it came down to it, you're going to let it go.
Yeah.
And for me, with this job where, this guy's kind of out of whack and people are doing things that don't make sense in a job description, and there's some behavior and treatment that is not okay.
Not good.
The way it's not a way that you speak to employees, people you have a professional relationship with. And I always push back, by the way. I never, ever had one of those interactions that I didn't go up to this person and be like, I don't know, this is not how, this is not how this is supposed to go. This is not how we operate, whether it's about money, whether it's about how we're spoken to. I never let any of those go.
Yeah.
And, people are smart enough to know you don't can someone when they say that you're being, unprofessional or abusive. So that never resulted in me not working there, but it certainly resulted in it being hostile sometimes to be there.
Yeah.
And you feeling really isolated because everyone else is just complying, right?
Right.
But this was my livelihood, and it was a really high paying job for living in New York City, which is an extremely expensive place to live. And it was letting me travel, see my family in Ghana, it's hard to get $2,000 together to go do that. And so there were lots of reasons to put up with it. And for lots of people, a lot of people started at that job and it's just a restaurant job, right? So they didn't expect to be making this much money. But then when they did start making that much money, they grew their lives. They got more expensive bills. They got bigger apartments. They did whatever. They got a nicer car. They had this big lease bill on. And so it becomes harder to extrapolate yourself from that. And you have to be kind of willing to be in an uncomfortable situation. And holding those boundaries for me ultimately was always going to be more important than any of that, and I was willing to go to zero. And I've developed this term of like DTGF, down to get fired, because ultimately I am.
Yeah.
I don't care if it means me going from, making this amount of money to being in a box. I'm not compromising that this person gets to be demeaning or abusive to me in any way, or like not pay me or whatever the hell. Right. So ultimately, even with the stakes of livelihood, of this, of that, I'm not willing to do that. So do you really think I'm going to go to Costa Rica electively and be screamed at by some jungle melanation guy? Like, what in the hell? By the way, his names for his cult were both melanation and carbonation. I know he was saying carbonation.
Carbonation.
Carbon.
It was carbonation.
Carbonation, but it just sounds like it's about seltzer.
It's about seltzer.
So yeah, he's really charismatic.
Hold on. You know what I want to ask is the real thing for me is who's the second guy? That's who or who's the first follower? That's the guy I want to be in the documentary. They never are.
Some like left or right hand man or whatever who you're like,
I want to know the first guy.
When it's just the two of you?
Who showed up to the seminar when it was in the classified ads? It's like, change your life. Like
just me and this one random guy.
And then it's just you and Eligio in Costa Rica eating bananas, and he's just like berating you. And you're like, yes, this is awesome.
This sounds chill. I understand why they're like, let's get some more people out here.
Now that's how cults are really started. That guy, that second person is tortured, and they're like, we need to get more people in here.
100%.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely have observed also like friend groups that operate with cult dynamics.
Let's go.
Where they kind of circle around one person, and where everyone is supposed to kind of behave similarly, and you're kind of shunned if you don't. And there's like, in high school for sure, I've observed those, and I've never been susceptible to it. I had a close trio friend group, and there was some behavior towards another girl that I was just not into. I should have probably judged it more harshly than I did, but I sort of more was just like, I'm staying out of it. But there was this expectation that I also had to like, I don't know, have certain views or feelings about this one girl who I couldn't have cared less. Yeah. And it was just a boundary I held, and it made me less on the inner closeness of those two friends. Like we were like this real strong trio, and they're like, you have to bully this girl. Like, and I'm like,
what?
I don't know, man.
Not my vibe.
I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've got Malibu Cokes to drink.
But it's Sunday, and Sunday's league day.
I know. I wish that it was a more heroic story where I was like, I won't do that, and neither will you. But it was more just like, or cigarettes. I don't know. It just wasn't like a pastime that I could really get behind. I wish I defended that girl more. I'm sorry. It's that girl.
I think it's usually it's people who don't have much of an inner code, maybe, or much of an inner life. They don't know how to think about themselves. They don't know how to think about the world. They're not that reflective. They're looking for answers. Like they're an empty vessel. And when someone comes out and they're like speaking with confidence, they're speaking the loudest, or they're whatever, they see a lot of people gathering around them, then it's like, that's all it takes to like, oh, all right.
No, you're right.
I guess. I don't know.
I think lack of inner world, and I think often because they're in some kind of survival mode. And I think our inner voice quiets when you're in survival mode. I mean, either that or it like intensifies. It's one or the other. But I do think a lot of them yeah, they're in a really like low point, at a really lost point in their life.
Yeah.
And it's like any window that cracks, they're going to like claw up to
Right.
it. It doesn't matter if it's like a window full of snakes. And it often
They love
is.
snakes.
I know. So it's funny. One of the announcements that usually comes around is like, so I'm called to have sex with everyone's girlfriend and no one else. That's one of the announcements. And then there's the one that I'm actually God. That comes at some point usually too.
That's deep. Yeah,
Yeah.
That one's deep into the situation.
Yeah.
And they're like, maybe he is God. But then, I mean, the reason that one's powerful is because then, oh yeah, look how special we are. We're all so close to God. It's like, it's like, but
now
again,
that you mention it, there may have been a team meeting at that restaurant in which that boss
said what?
May have called himself king and his general manager God, which was interesting that he chose king over God. Listen.
It's very, very humble of him.
Yeah. You know what? I trust him.
You know what? That's a guy I want to. I can get behind him.
See if he's going to open anywhere in Austin that I can work.
Yeah. How much is he paying again? Oh my God.
Him?
Yeah,
nothing.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know,
it was a tip job.
All tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, but again, that's something that we've talked about a lot. It's just like we live in kind of a godless world. And so people are kind of looking for some one or thing to make into God, whether they actually believe it's like some celestial or like supernatural thing or not, doesn't really matter. They just need something to center their lives around because they don't have that North Star, they don't have that like guiding principle or,
And to be clear, I can be directionless.
Yeah,
I can be like, I don't know, what am I doing? I mean,
get that. I understand.
Daily. But
every day.
The next thing is not do whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's like I don't go from I don't know what I'm doing to jungle of Costa Rica with a psychopath. For some reason, I'm just like, well, let me try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I think also not whatever. I think also you and I both, I won't speak for you, but from what we've talked about, it seems like we both have similarly like large conceptions of God as like a very large thing, as a very like a concept that is all encompassing. It's not some like personified characterization
like
of
person.
I feel like I wonder if maybe I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these people had like an upbringing, like a Christian upbringing in which God was very old fatherly figure,
guy in the sky.
Yeah, because then maybe their idea of what a God is a bit mundane. And so when they encounter a real life person who is like is presenting them, even before they announce it, is presenting themselves as that kind of guru or figure, then they're more like susceptible to falling for that, because that's just like a thing.
And if their guy in the sky is like Old Testament-y, then maybe the fact that it's a ranting, raving person telling you what to do and threatening you seems like it fits that slot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean,
got a lot to figure out, Yasmeen.
Yeah, there's a big gap between me and them.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I was interested to talk about it, especially with the NatureBoy one, because I just was like, wow, just never.
Dude came off intense.
Yeah. I mean, that I would want to avoid just any kind of interaction with a person like that. Absolutely. So if you're magnetized to him, I am like polarly repelled. Yeah. So I was just like, wow, this many people are just like, let me go and experience this in real time. I'm so horrified to have experienced it in the small amounts that I did in this documentary. I want that energy nowhere the fuck near me. Mm-mm. And I mean, the same with Keith Raniere. He's the kind of person who you just kind of want to take a shower after interacting with.
Yeah.
It's just a sliminess, a sniveliness. He's a slovenly, snivelly little guy. And like, I just felt like, and so 100%. Many of these characters, like,
they're blowing through the presentation and the and the body language and the the intangibles, as they
Mhm.
call it in sports, right? But like they're blowing through those things, and they're only fixating on content and context clues of
Yeah.
people are around. People think this guy's smart. It's like,
Right. Maybe that's another important, like I rely on myself for that discernment
yeah,
almost 100%. Like
yeah,
I don't make my opinions based on the people around me's assessments of things.
yeah. And I think from the experience of seeing all this stuff, I'm almost always like, if a lot of people are giving the same message or saying
Mhm.
too many of the same words, then I started to get a little creeped out. Like I got creeped out about that in 2016 with when it was like Hillary versus Bernie running for the DNC.
Mm.
I was like, this is getting weird, because I feel like, because I align with all, it's like the people I'm supposed to align with are Democrats,
Yeah.
in that world. And so then it was like, I keep hearing like the exact same words coming out of
Right.
everyone's mouth being parroted from like CNN articles or CNBC articles or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, it was getting weird. I'm like, immediately, that was
Yeah.
when I really started to be like, okay, I'm definitely not a Republican. I don't know if I'm a Democrat either, because that can be culty too.
Of course. Yeah. I
Obviously.
mean, it's been shown that it's more of like a cult of a 1% than many things.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, I can echo some of that for sure. When I hear people, it's obvious regurgitation.
Yeah.
Even if my brain doesn't immediately go to like, this must be a cult, must be nefarious. If I hear something that's too familiar a lot, my assumption is the person has not investigated it very much.
Right.
Right. Like when I kept hearing people saying some stupid shit, like when I hear a lot of people one year being like, well, Alicia Keys is classically trained. Alicia Keys is classically trained. I'm like, do they even know what that means?
Right.
I think that they think that means like she's like a concert pianist.
Yeah.
That means you went to a music school. That
Right.
means you know how to read notes.
Right.
There's something about hearing them say it over and over again where I'm like, I think you may not know what it means.
You think she's like playing Rachmaninoff? Like that's not
right, and maybe
happening.
she did,
Maybe.
but it doesn't mean virtuosic.
Right.
That's not what that means.
Well,
right. Huh?
You'd have to be virtuosic to play Rachmaninoff. Music stuff.
At all? You could play it badly.
Fair.
Right.
True.
Well, I guess when you're saying playing it, then you have to be playing it correctly.
Anyway,
okay,
sorry.
We're getting into the weeds here.
Dumb
but
music
I guess
thing.
It was another thing too. And
yes, I know what you mean.
remember
though.
which band it was or who it was, but someone kept playing like, well, it's 3 chords. It's 3 chords. It's 3 chords. I kept hearing random people being like, well, all their songs are just 3 chords. I'm like, I know you not to know much about music in general. So why are you saying that?
Yeah.
Why are you saying that? And I think a lot of songs are 3 chords that you love.
Exactly.
But I think you don't like this artist and you've heard somebody make fun of them this way. And without investigating what the like context and significance of that is, you're regurgitating this. Yeah. So I'm always suspicious when I hear the same verbiage coming up again and again and again when people talk about one subject. Yeah. So I feel like with this kind of global media environment, there are these little bites that get.
It's the viral media.
Yes.
Because then because like you hear it 15 times and then the next day it comes up on your feed and you're like, oh,
that's
you watched this. You see 15 million views on this video. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick Rubin produced all these songs. Sorry.
Let's not get into Rick Rubin again.
But, speaking of gurus, false gurus.
Speaking of false guru.
Just kidding.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess I am suspicious of it. I'm suspicious of people's actual connection. Oh my God, the sun came out as I've been whining about gloom for you.
Wow. Yeah. Hilarious.
That's Austin for you. But so it raises my alarms, but not necessarily in like something nefarious is going on, but just like someone is not speaking their own thoughts.
Yeah, I guess that's all I really mean. I don't mean like but it just
that can go away.
It makes it piques my suspicion. It piques my suspicion.
But to wrap it up and also echo what you're saying, I do find that the most information I will get from a person is not what they're saying. The most important information that you'll get from a first impression is not what someone says. I mean, this is speak about regurgitating. Everyone always says this too. It's like, oh, my first impressions are based on your eye contact, how, firm your handshake is. I know it's tropey, but think about why it's not what they're saying.
Right.
Right. I think because we know we have to look to other things, because we all have our persona living in our words, right? Our front facing persona, and everything else is actually ourself, right? So if you want to get past the guard, you need to look at other things, and I just, I think too many people are taking people's representative at face value, which I wouldn't recommend.
Don't do it.
I wouldn't recommend it when you're trying to figure me out necessarily. Like, I don't think I'm nearly as like stiff or like, I don't think you'd be getting all the information from that. Like, I think you could look a little closer, right? If you really wanted to get a discernment of a person, then like those kind of, rudimentary.
Beware
things.
what people say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at what they, look them in the eyes.
Yeah. Taking
read their body
people
language.
at their word when you don't know them, it seems like a bad practice.
Definitely.
And I would say that people in all the cults listed could probably echo that statement.
If you do that, you will end up in a cult 100% of the time.
There's a chance you're in some kind of culty situation right now. And investigate that you might be. Look at your partner sideways. I know I'm looking at mine in certain ways right now. We'll see how that pans out. But like, if you're in a friendship group, if you're in a mom group, think about how it's operating. Think about how you're made to feel when you are divergent in any way. If you bring up a new idea, if you change a behavior, if you align yourself with someone, over and over, like think about what the dynamic is there, because there's cult-like dynamics in everyday situations. You don't have to be, out with Jim Jones in the, Guyanese jungle to be in a cult. I think, it's just some level of control and compliance and, loss of your own self-determination.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a great time to remind people to like and subscribe, to send us Venmo,
just send
probably
us the Venmo
stop
app.
talking to your parents and family. And if you have any questions about your life,
best
you should call Yasmeen.
To just get all your information from right here. From me.
From Yasmeen. And
that's
please
my recommendation.
Send us, like if you have feedback for the podcast, what you like, what you don't like, your social security number, your address, your mother's maiden name, just send it in an email to piquedpod, whatever your email is.
.info.
Piquedpod.info. Yeah.
With that, I think we can wrap.
Sounds good.
And be careful out there.
Happy birthday, Yas.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Tomorrow's my birthday.
Cue the music.